Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. In my previous video of the flower that I'm going to put on a canvas, I gave a sneak peek of this project. I'm making another heart. Please don't roll your eyes at me. This is what I'm doing. I've already made this and it takes up a good chunk of this, but there will be some ruffles and some wool like this and some ribbons, and I think I have red yarn somewhere. I have to go find it. I looked the other day, but I didn't come back with any, so I'm pretty sure I have some somewhere. Anywho's, I will try and find that and stick that in. Not a lot of space here, so there's going to be some more ribbon and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I don't know why, I just really love making these hearts. So I am going to get this started. Sometimes I don't like working with a hoop. I'll have to tell you the truth about that. I'm going to just stitch this right underneath this ribbon center here. And maybe if I turn it, I can see better. I want this right so that or do I? Before I make another stitch, I think I'm going to move it down away from here a little bit, and that'll have stitches and stuff up. Oh, wait, stitches. Oh, oops. Well, I guess I could put this on. I have to stitch around this. I forgot on the last heart I did too that I stitch around the outline. I ended up doing it late. Okay, so we can finish putting this on and then stitch around the outline. Almost forgot. That would be silly. Major step in the process here. I'm just doing this one on muslin. I don't know, the simplicity of the muslin behind it sort of lets the other work stand out. I do have some white fabrics that we went to the store and bought a week or so ago, maybe 10 days ago. Come on. Ow. Doesn't want to go through there. But I don't know why. I just pulled out the muslin and started making. I figured that's all I want to do. Just start. So I did think about the white background because the flower is being done on a white background and I really like it. It gives it some texture and stuff. But this one's going on a canvas, and this one is going to go in the hoop if I can get the stupid hoop open. It's these hoops here, and I literally can barely open it, but it's the right size hoop, so I'm gonna have to. I cannot pop these off like I could the other ones. And if you stick something up under there, you're gonna mar the. Please come off. Almost. Gosh, I'm hurting myself. That hurt. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. I wish they were easier. The anchor ones are so nice, but they're $12.99 each. But I guess you get what you pay for. These were less expensive, and I can't get them apart. Once you put it back together, if you do get it apart, then you got to be careful that that's where you want it, because harder than the heck to get it to come apart again, especially with the fabric in there. You'd think it would be easier, but no. I'm gonna try and get another brand next time. I keep checking Michael's. They have not restocked them. They don't even have them online. Well, last time I checked, they didn't. I haven't checked recently. Almost there. I think one more stitch just to make sure. Oops, not that far out. I don't want them to show. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now, what am I going to outline this in? Yes, you do see it. I could use the thread I'm using here, or I could use a burgundy red. I thought I bought a red, but I can't find it. Oh, there it is. I was looking for this before. I think I'm going to do it in this red. I like this red. The really red. Sorry for sniffling. If it gets bad, I will look. I'm looking for my needle. It's in my hand. Oh, yes. The joys of having a messy desk. I'm not used to having two projects going at once. It's not something I normally do. If you know me at all, you'll know that. I didn't do it when I was journaling. I'm finding it hard to do now. I'm trying to figure out what projects I can do, I can take with me. I'm wondering if I could put together some more hearts, do all of the like ruffles and that stuff, the what's the word I'm looking for, yo-yos and all. I have a little bag here with red stuff, and I made this heart-shaped yo-yo. I don't know if I'll put it down that way or put it down that way. It actually shows as a heart better that way. I was thinking of putting it right at the bottom there. Of course you can't see anything because that's blocking the light. And then I have, you know, I have yo-yos here, and I could put those there, and lots of ruffles that'll go up and lift this up so it sticks up. You see the ruffles and some yo-yos. If I put all that stuff on like that, and then I left the rest of it like, I'll figure some other stuff on here. There's going to be wool on here. If I sewed all that stuff on and left the knots to do the knots and bullions and the other background stitching on it, I could take 2 or 3 of those with me, and that would just keep me busy for while we're gone. So I'm sort of thinking of doing that. The other thought I had was I could probably, because if I don't like any of this stuff, well, I would have to do that part ahead of time. So I could change that out before we go. Because this flower changed 3 times. I had just these 2 things together. And then I made that, and I thought it needs another layer underneath, so I cut that. I'm not going to be able to take all that kind of stuff with me. It's going to have to be something that's just stitching, and I can just take a variety of threads. That's what it's going to have to be. The other thing I thought was I could cut out a bunch of hearts out of quilt batting. What am I doing? I'm going to start up here. And I could take all kinds of just scrappy fabric with me and white thread, and I could make quilted hearts out of the scrappy fabric. And I could probably do a more interesting stitch than this, but this is what I'm going to do. So I did on the other ones, and I liked it. I could just stitch quilted hearts and do the quilted heart. I found a quilted heart project. Or I could just give them to people along the way. you're not supposed to do that with the I Found a Quilted Heart project. You're supposed to leave them in obscure public places, not private places. But I thought, well, you know, thank you gifts, or, you know, I'm happy to see you gift, whatever. I thought it would be nice to do something like that. And I could just work on them while I'm gone. I don't know, I guess hearts are what I'm meant to make lately. It's just what I'm drawn to. So one of those two ideas I could do. These would take up a lot more room. And I think I could consolidate a lot of different colored fabric strips and stuff. The backings would also have to be strips, I guess. The fronts and the backs would have to be strips that I sew on together. Or I wouldn't want to just make a muslin back. I want both sides to be pretty. So I don't know. Or I could just like pick out some blue fabric, some yellow fabric, some red fabric, and just use those as backings. And cut those ahead of time. And then just do the fronts by taking all my scraps and stuff like that. Take some lace with me. I just don't know if I'm going to have room for a lot. When we go for a long time, we take more stuff with us. If we're going for a weekend, it's a different story. And even then, space is tight. So, and I don't know how long we'll be gone. It's supposed to be, I mean, every time I look at the weather for New England, like Massachusetts and Maine and so forth, it's always raining. Like next week, they're supposed to have several days of rain, 4 or 5 days of rain in a row. It's just been a really, really wet year, which means there are going to be excessive bugs. And it's not going to be very fun to do anything outside. Not that I'm doing a lot of walking or anything, mind you, but I do like to go to the beach and walk. I've never, ever, my brother, when he lived in Maine, who is now deceased, 8 years now, he lived in Maine most of his life. He moved there after 2 years of college in Rochester. And he moved to Maine, and he lived there until 5 years before he passed away and moved to Florida. And he had jars of sea glass because he would walk the beach all the time and always find sea glass. I've never found a piece of sea glass on my own, ever. And I've been to the beach many times, lots of beaches. So I find shells, I find rocks, I don't find sea glass. And when he left Maine, instead of passing his sea glass on to me, he gave it to my cousin's daughter, who makes jewelry. So I got one piece of sea glass when she made me a piece of jewelry when he passed away, which I'm grateful for, but I love sea glass. I just love it. I just want it to sit and look at. So I want a whole jar of it, even if it's a small jar. I want it to be sea glass I found. But alas, this will probably be our last trip to the beach in Maine. Beaches. I hope to hit more than one. And I would really like to find some sea glass. So I'm going to take a jar with me and put little finds in it. Trying to keep these somewhat the same size. I'm getting a little better at consistency. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a lot of work. A lot of paying attention. Uh-oh. I should have done this before we started. I think I'm going to be quiet, and I will probably edit this part out until I finish this. Otherwise, this is going to take the whole video, and that's pretty boring. So I'm going to be quiet now, and I will edit the quiet part out rather than turning off the camera. And I will come back when I'm done. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning. That took about, I think, 20 minutes or so, which I will cut out of the video. You didn't miss anything big other than the doorbell ringing. Since we don't have pups anymore, nobody went barking at the door. So I hope this finds everybody doing well. I know Robin, who's out in Oregon, is like, had 107 yesterday, 102 today temperatures. Just, you know, don't send it this way, Robin, please. I don't want it. Ooh, where'd you come from? Now, am I going to put green in here? No, this is going to be all red. The flower project has other colors in it. This is going to be red and white. So I'm thinking, better watch out, because when Martha starts thinking, you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to pull some of this wool. Now, don't know if I want it twisted, if I want it bunched up. I think I want it bunched up. Yes, I think that's how it's going to go. But I need it to also help this stand up a little. I don't want to bury too much of it. I mean, that sort of defeats the purpose, right? I want it to be sort of up in this area. Okay. So, keep working with it. Make it what you want. Make it do what you want. You rule it. Not really. I usually go with whatever the fabric or material I'm working with. Fabric, fibers, whatever. Whatever it tells me it wants to be is usually how it ends up being. Because some things there just is no bossing around. And if I make it do what I want it to do, it usually doesn't look very pretty. So, I'm going to try and use up this bit of thread here. I don't want it to be too, I don't want to sew it down. Like I want it to be floofy and sort of. So I'm just going to tack it because you see it will compress with the stitches, and I don't want it to end up being all compressed. Here and there is okay. Oops, not where I was aiming. Okay, keep on trucking here. I was watching Susie Q Makes, and she did a marathon, 7 hours. She didn't film for 7 hours, I don't think. She said she did 7 hours of jelly printing, and she condensed it into like 2, I guess. But she stopped for like lunch and breakfast. I stopped for lunch and breakfast while I was watching her. But, you know, it was interesting to watch because she was going along really well. Then she had some problems. Then she worked it out and she made it work in the end. And I do miss like jelly printing because it's fun. I was hoping she was going to do some fabric. She mentioned at the beginning she was going to do some fabric, but I think she sort of had such a difficult time along the way with what she was doing with the paper that she sort of ran out of steam, which I don't blame her because, wow, that took her all day. She puts a lot of work and thought into what she's doing. She makes these little books that you can, that she sells. She has an Etsy shop. However, her Etsy shop hasn't been doing very well. So she tried Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, and that sort of messed her over a little bit with some sales, which she's going to work on. But anyway, they're cute little books, and she puts a lot of thought and work into them and sells them very inexpensively. And you can take them and use them for like Zentangling or just doodling in, or you could use them for stickers or stamps, or you could journal in them or whatever. But she put layers upon layers of paint on them. She did a beautiful job, let me tell you. I really liked the first set that she had done. Okay, but she only has one of those left, and I can't afford the shipping from overseas anyway for anything, so I'm not thrilled with my, let me get these back out, with my ruffles, I'll be honest. Now, I think I'm going to put that there. But can you tell it's a heart if I put it there? Not really. Sorry, I was pulling it to me to finagle with, to fiddle with. Don't know. I think it's going to go up here. I was going to put it down here, but I feel like it gets lost being a heart from this flower. So I think I'll put it here and then I'll do stitches around it. That's the answer. Okay, now I think I'll use this because this has sort of goes from red to white. I think that'll, well, pink. But anyway, close enough. Red and white make pink, right? And we'll just, let's see, which end do I want to start with? I think I'll start with the red end. May not work into the pink anyway. Depends on how I stitch it. So, yes, this is a winter fabric. I don't think you can really tell those look like snowflakes. I don't know. I'm okay with it. Whoa! Just dropped something else. I am dropping things left and right today. Where'd it go? Looking. Oh. I dropped a yo-yo. Oh my gosh. Hold that thought. I literally dropped it and it fell right across against to the wall. There's a bunch of little beads from the last video that are on the floor too that I'm going to have to find before they get sucked up by the vacuum cleaner. All right. So I should have stuffed this. Is it too late? Is it too late to stuff that? Nah. What are we going to stuff it with? I could stuff it with wool. I could stuff it with threads. I could stuff it with... I can't stuff it with batting. Maybe I'll throw some threads in there. Why not? Use your orts. Use your orts, Martha. I don't have... I have a tool, but I don't have it up here that I could stuff this with. Oh my, this is going to be a tight stuffing. Come on. This hole is pretty tight. Pretty small. I need my little tools. I wonder where that tool is. I wonder if it's out in the sunroom. I still have a bookcase in the sunroom that has some things left over from my journaling days in it. This would have been easier if I hadn't stitched it down twice already. Yes, Martha does things backwards quite often. But, you know, afterthoughts. Whoops. Don't want to rip the heart. All right. Let's make this easy on ourselves. Easier on ourselves. Oops. Oh, there goes the whole thing. Come on. Be nice. Play nice. Oops. That's not going to help. Come on. Seriously. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's play a little and try and get this stuffed with some Ort threads. Afterthoughts, afterthoughts. This might get deleted too. Because that way it'll stand up, and if you're gonna have like things that are, oh no, I just did that. See, well, this will have to get deleted out too. I cut the thread by accident. All right, well, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna roll with it and restitch it. But I'm gonna stuff it. If I can get this thread out. Gosh darn it. And I used a strong thread too. I used like a size 5 thread. I didn't think, I must have cut it with the scissors somehow. Broke it. I broke it. I broke it. Ugh. Okay. Let's see. No. I'm looking for my thread. There we go. What I'll do is I'll stuff it before, come on, stuff it as I'm making it before I pull it too tight. Okay. Well, I'm going to delete this part too so I can get this done. I'll put it back on before I finish it. Okay, so I've gone around almost back to the beginning. I'm going to stuff it some more. Some more stuffing, please. See if I can spread it around in there. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. Nobody will ever know. Except you, me, and the Suffolk puff. Maybe. If I can get it to go back in shape. Okay. Just a little bit more. Get these up in there. Oh, if I didn't have such chubby fingers. All my life, chubby fingers. Even when I was thin, I had chubby fingers. Oops, come on. Please don't do that. You need to be on the inside. Thank you. Yes. I also did not stitch the stitches as close. So I think, yeah, I think that'll be okay. All right, we're gonna close this off. Since this side will be down, I don't have to be too neat about the closing off. Okay. One more knot just to be on the safe side, since I seem to have problems with that. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Better. We're better. Now, where was the other thread I was using? It's already in the heart. In this heart. Wowza. Okay. Gently, we are going to work on this just a little bit more. Okay. Yay me. Now see, that'll stand out. Okay. As usual, everything I do seems like it's a bigger challenge than it is. Because, you know, afterthoughts. Okay. So I'm going to do, I think, well, it may not be obvious it's a heart, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. Oops. Sorry. Concentration. Sticking my tongue out while I'm doing this, and that's not even what I normally do. I don't normally do that kind of thing. Okay. You're going up there. Yep, every one of these will be different. Eventually, I'd like to start selling them. I just don't want to have an Etsy shop. And I'll tell you, I've heard about some of the new tax rules. Gosh, they're getting you coming and going here in America. If you own an LLC, there's a new form that you're going to have to fill out starting in 2024. And if you don't fill it out, there's going to be hefty fines and 2 years jail time, possibly. So you can't be ignorant about the tax laws here in America. That's for darn sure. We had an LLC when I was doing the fiber stuff, spinning wool into yarn, making things, and selling them at fairs, fiber festivals. And that was to cover us, the LLC was, in case somebody got hurt in our booth, or, you know, the booth blew over, which happened once. The tent blew over before we had our LLC, which is what made us come home and sign up for an LLC. It blew sideways and some stuff fell, and there was a customer inside the tent. So Tony did all the research, and, you know, we got insurance the next time we went to the fiber festival and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's not cheap being an entrepreneur. I'm telling you, it's just not cheap. And people don't realize it's not just the work you have to put into into making this stuff, it's also covering your butt so you don't go to jail because of taxes. You sell something, unless you're out like on the road and you sell it like out of your car and you don't get caught by anybody. Oh my gosh, like you can get in trouble if you don't have a tax card for a state that, like, say I go to the next state over and I'm selling stuff out of my car. If I get caught not having a tax thing from that state, then I can go to jail. It's terrible. I mean, they are just messing with the small entrepreneurs, the small business owners left and right. If you're not a big business owner in America, it's hard to make it, I'm telling you. Okay, I like that. I'm going with it. So that is what it is. So yeah, I'd like to sell these, but I don't know. I mean, and I'll pay my taxes. I mean, we claim stuff on our taxes all the time for stuff that I sell. I'm not trying to evade, trust me. However, it's tough and expensive, and you don't make much. Like, even if I sold this for $30, by the time I ship it somewhere and charge for that and pay taxes on it and is that starting to look really Christmassy? That's why I didn't want to stick green on it. I like that. I like that on top of the wool. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to use the rest of this thread because that's going to blend right in, I think. Yeah. I'd probably end up with, even if I charge for shipping, which in the States, I have to pay for a box for this, an 8x8 box, unless I ship it priority, and then the presentation would be just wrapping it in tissue paper, which I don't feel is, I feel like these need something a lot more worthy, but I've looked up boxes online, and unless I buy like 50 of them for, what was it, 50 for $45 or something? I can't remember now. Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive to get your business cards. It's expensive to get nice tissue paper and boxes and have a nice presentation when you deliver it. I would have to sell it for about $50 in order to actually make, maybe by the time I pay for everything, I might make $10 on this. You know, paying for all the stuff I'm putting into it. And that doesn't even include my time. So yeah, I would probably make $10 on this if I sold it for $50. By the time I did nice packaging, tissue paper, business card, even if I did things like make my own thank you cards, you still got to pay for paper and paint, and like say I did them on a jelly plate and then hand wrote them and stuff. I mean, I still got to pay for, I paid for all that stuff. I paid for the paint, paid for the jelly plate. You can't, it's like, I don't know. I know there's another maker out there. She sells something sort of similar to what I'm doing, like $300 a pop. I don't know how she does it, but she has sold them. Would I like to do that? Yeah. I wouldn't sell this for $300. I'd like to get $50 for it, but I don't think people would pay $50 for it. So I guess these will all be gifts. Unless somebody wants to buy one, hit me up, let me know. And then if you have to ship overseas, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Like, just crazy. Crazy expensive. And it's not their fault. It just is. Okay. Now, I'm not crazy about the ruffles I've made. So What am I going to do? This is definitely looking Christmassy. I would like to put something like that in there. Maybe I'll do it along here. Yeah. I think that. Oops. This is some velvet ribbon. I think it's the last piece I have that I'm aware of, that I can find. But Christmas is coming. Christmas stuff is out in the stores, some of the stores. So, velvet ribbon is going to be something I'm going to be finding because it's very pretty. Now, I think that would be too... Let me look. Let me look. That's too bright. Yeah. This is very burgundy. That's too dark. Where the heck? There it is. I think that's the one. Get some more of this. I mean, this would be a really pretty Christmas decoration, I think, for someone. Oops, come on. I don't think I could ship this in a, like a nice padded envelope because I think it would get squished in between like other packages and I don't think that would work very well, even if I bubble wrapped it. I'm not sure. I've been thinking about that. I've been talking it over with Tony. I just don't know what to do. I did find boxes that would fit these. White boxes in Staples that would work. It was $10 for, I think, 5 boxes. So $2 a box wasn't bad, honestly. Okay, I'm going to go down there. Oopsies. Come on. I'm going to come up here and sew this other edge down since I pulled that up. Okay. There. And then I'm going to puff this up like that. Now, could I have ruffled this? Yes. I could have gathered it. I'm going to see how this comes out. If this doesn't come out good, then I will gather it. But I sort of wanted this different kind of effect. Come on. Sounds like an airplane outside. Like something flying really, really low. Oh, come on. Yes, I did that, right? Jeez Louise. This isn't complicated enough. My goodness gracious. Ooh, gentle. Don't get frustrated. Okay, breathe. All right, I think I want it right there. Okay. Back down. No, 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 no. Why are you flat? There you go. Okay, then we'll poof you up again. Come up here. Uh-oh, I don't think I did that right. Nope. Yep, I should have gathered this beforehand. It would have been way easier. I'm going to keep plugging away though. I don't give up easily. However, I do think it would have looked better. Whoa. All right, everybody, behave. Oopsies. Get off there, please. Thank you. I know, I've gone quiet. I'm concentrating and I'm trying to figure out what that noise is outside. That sounds like an airplane circling around us. Get out of there. Ooh. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I don't know what's going to happen on our television stations. I don't know about you guys overseas, but over here there's a writers' strike, Screen Guild writers' strike, and the actors are striking with them. And I'm not sure what TV shows are going to look like this winter, unless they've already, like some movies were already recorded, like for Hallmark or whatever. But as far as television shows, I don't think there's going to be much happening unless you like reality shows. Because they still have not come to an agreement as far as the strikes. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting TV this winter. Or not. I mean, Tony watches a lot of TV, and I sit there at night, and some of the shows I like last night we recorded Heartland and a couple other shows. There was Wild at Heart, which is, I think it takes place in Australia, or the other country escapes my words right now. Anyway, I'm sure any Australians have probably already seen it over there. I'm not sure what years, but America picks up some of the Australian shows sometimes. I enjoy them. most of them. So, yeah. We watched it last season, and we were watching it. It just started this season, so Wild at Heart and Heartland and some other shows, but the rest are all reality shows, and I'm done with reality shows. You can keep them. I mean, some of them are okay. I'm going to try and finish this ribbon. I don't know how much of this video I'll have to delete out. I know I have to delete out the part where I was stitching around the heart. And I don't know how long this is going to end up being after that. But now that I'm getting the hang of it, it's okay with me to keep going. So I hope you're hanging in there with me. But yeah, TV is going to be a challenge. And I've always watched way too much TV, I know that. But I could do without it. I need to take up reading again, but I gave it up for a long time. Mostly because my eyes are messed up. Even though I had cataract surgery, I have other problems with them, so sometimes it becomes too challenging and too much work. Well, it's not 100%, perfect. But it's okay. I'm trying to figure out why I keep seeing shadows on my deck. I guess the wind is blowing. The trees are making shadows on the deck move around. Thought somebody was out there for a minute. Whoopsies. Yes, I need a date stamp. I need a date stamp. I think I started talking about this and then I went way off topic. But I need a date stamp so that I can make my labels, or I'm going to have to pay for labels to be made, which I'm seriously considering because my labels look like crap. So I'm seriously considering. I know Corinne got some labels from right here in the United States and she was very happy with them. So I went on the Etsy shop last night. It's called Pacific Labels, and they're located in North Carolina. And I want to start labeling my work. Why is this not? Wasn't anything stopping it, so there wasn't a knot in there. I guess I'll just put my name on it, but I also wanted to date it. So I could use a date stamp, because if I order labels and I have the year put on them, then I'm not going to use them all up before 2023 is over, right? And then I'll have a bunch of 2023 labels that I won't use. So if I get a date stamp, I could sort of date stamp on seam binding kind of stuff, and I could get one more here, and then I'll leave that end hanging. I could just add that on little seam binding underneath my name label. I used to go by Shabby Craft Studio. Not officially. I was spinning my wheel fibers officially. But I really love Shabby Craft Studio because I don't spin wool anymore. And Shabby Craft Studio really does. But I think I'm just going to do my name and the year. Oops. Because nobody knows me by Shabby Craft Studio. So, yeah. Thought about changing my YouTube name. But again, nobody would know me then. There. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to work on this some more off camera and not torture you anymore. But this video is going to take a lot of editing. So, thanks for joining me. And that's where I'm going. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.